He watched his father walk away, not slowly, not with regret, but with the cold finality of a man abandoning the only soul who trusted him. And as the rain swallowed the boy's sobs, a shadow stepped off a black tour bus. It was Orion Blackthorne, and what he did next would change everything. Before the story starts, hit subscribe to Voices of Darkness, like the video, share it with your friends, because tonight's story will break you. The boy at the bus stop. The city was drowning in rain, not the gentle kind, not the kind that whispers across windows and soothes tired souls. No, tonight's rain was violent, merciless, like the sky itself wanted to wash away every mistake humanity had ever made. At the edge of a lonely street, beneath a flickering bus stop light, sat a small boy, 13, maybe 14, thin, shivering, one leg tucked tightly, the other braced by a rusted metal brace that creaked every time he moved. His name was Evan. He pulled his torn jacket tighter and whispered into the night, "Dad, please, when are you coming back?" But the only answer was the rain. Evan had been sitting there for over an hour, then 2, then 3. His father had said, "Just wait here, I'll be right back, I promise." And promises were all Evan ever had. But tonight, even those were fading. His stomach growled, his hands were purple from cold. The metal brace on his leg was digging painfully into his skin, but he didn't cry, at least not until he saw it. His father, across the street, walking away, a small suitcase in hand. A taxi door open. The man didn't even look back. Evan's voice cracked. "Dad, please don't leave me. I'll be good, I promise. Please, Dad." But the door shut, the taxi drove away, and the boy fell to his knees, the cold rain mixing with tears as he whispered, "Why am I not enough?" The wind swallowed his words. He was alone, truly alone. Or so he thought, because fate was about to send him someone darker, louder, scarred, and far more broken than he could ever imagine. Someone whose own story had been written in pain and fire. Someone named Orion Blackthorne. The tour bus in the rain 2 streets away. A monstrous black tour bus rolled slowly down the soaked asphalt. It was matte black with silver runes carved across its sides, glowing faintly under streetlights. The windows tinted so dark, you could barely see the world inside. This was Orion Blackthorne's bus. Inside, the legend himself sat silently on a leather seat, staring out into the storm. Long black coat, silver rings that glimmered under the dim interior lights, jet black hair streaked with aging silver, a face carved with years of battles, some fought on stage, some fought inside his soul. He wasn't supposed to be here tonight. The concert in Manchester had been cancelled. The crew had insisted he rest, but Orion couldn't rest, not tonight. His mind had been heavy for weeks. The familiar darkness, the same that had followed him since childhood, was clawing its way back. He felt the old emptiness in his chest, that cold whisper, "You're still alone." He inhaled sharply, pushing the voice away. The bus slowed as it approached a red light, and then he saw him at Boar hunched under a leaking bus shelter, barely visible beneath the flickering bulb, the metal brace on his leg reflecting the STREETLIGHT. Orion leaned forward. "What the hell?" The boy was shaking violently. His small hands were wrapped around his stomach. Tears glimmered in his eyes, tears he clearly didn't want anyone to see. Something deep inside. Orion twisted. Recognition. Pain. Memory. His own father's shadow flashed across his mind. The shouting, the violence, the night he left home forever. He whispered to himself, "Not again. Not another kid left behind in the damn rain." He stood up, stopped the bus. The driver blinked. "Sir, this neighborhood is," I said. "Stop." The air itself seemed to obey him. The brakes hissed. The towering black bus came to a halt beside a lonely boy. Lightning cracked across the sky. Orion grabbed his coat. His crew called out behind him, "Where are you going?" But he didn't answer. He stepped off the bus, and into the storm. Orion meets the abandoned boy. His boots splashed through puddles as he crossed the street. Rain hammered his coat. His hair stuck to his face, but his eyes, those piercing storm-gray eyes, never left the boy. Evan didn't notice him at first. He was too busy trying to breathe through sobs. Too busy trying to convince himself that he wasn't worthless. "Hey," Orion said softly. The boy jolted. He looked up and froze. Everyone knew Orion Blackthorne. You couldn't grow up on Earth without seeing his face on posters, billboards, magazine covers, or viral videos. But tonight was different. This wasn't. Orion, the rock legend. This was a man kneeling in the rain for a boy nobody cared about. Evan swallowed hard. Are you real? Orion gave a soft, exhausted half smile. I hope so. Otherwise I'm talking to a hallucination. The joke didn't land. The boy just lowered his head again. Orion's smile faded. What's your name? Evan. How long have you been waiting here? Evan. I don't know. A long time. Where's your father? Evan's breath hitched. His voice broke. He left. Orion felt rage spark in his chest. Cold, electric, volcanic. He put a hand gently on the boy's shoulder. No kid deserves that. Not ever. Evan tried to hide his tears, turning away. I must have done something wrong. He said he'd come back, but I always make things hard. He gets tired of me. Everyone does. Orion's jaw tightened. He remembered being that kid. He remembered his father screaming, "You make my life harder." He closed his eyes to steady himself. Look at me, Evan. The boy hesitated. Then slowly, he looked up. Orion's voice was low, rough, and trembling with memories. You didn't deserve this. You didn't cause this. There is nothing wrong with you. Your father's choices are on him, not you. Evan blinked. But why would he leave? If I wasn't the problem. Orion exhaled shakily. Because some men are cowards disguised as fathers. The rain softened. For the first time that night, Evan stopped crying. The offer that changed everything. Orion stood up and extended his hand. Come with me. Evan stared at it. No, I can't. I shouldn't. I'm not supposed to go anywhere. Kid, Orion said gently. The person you're waiting for isn't coming back. The truth felt like a knife in the boy's chest. He whispered, I know. Lightning cracked. Orion's voice softened even more. You can come on the bus. Just to get dry. Just to warm up. I'm not letting you sit out here in the cold. Evan hesitated. The world had taught him not to trust strangers, but the world had also abandoned him. And something about Orion's eyes, that mix of strength and sorrow, made Evan feel seen for the first time in years. He slowly placed his trembling hand in Orion's. Orion lifted him carefully, noticing the way Evan winced. Your leg, it's not good, Evan whispered. It never has been. Orion placed a steadying arm around him. Lean on me. And together, they walked toward the black tour bus, the boy limping, the rock legend shielding him with his coat, as if he were protecting something sacred. Inside the bus. The crew froze in shock. Sir, who is this? Orion answered with a voice firm enough to silence thunder. He's with me. Towels were brought, blankets, warm broth, a first aid kit. Evan sat wrapped in warmth for the first time that night, and maybe the first time in his entire life. Orion knelt beside him, studying the metal brace. Who fitted this thing? It's too tight. It's hurting you. Evan nodded timidly. It's old. We couldn't afford a new one. Orion swallowed hard. How long has he treated you like this? Evan didn't answer. His silence spoke volumes. Orion stood slowly, a storm building in his chest. Pack it up, he told his driver. We're going to find his father. The room went silent. Evan's eyes went wide. No. Please don't. He'll be mad, he said. I ruin everything. Orion crouched down again, gripping the boy's trembling hands. You listen to me, Evan. You didn't ruin anything, and your father doesn't get to throw you away like trash. Evan shook with fear, but Orion's voice was steady as stone. You're not alone anymore. Not while I'm here. The search for the father. Orion hunts down the father, confronts him, exposes the truth behind years of neglect, brings justice, and returns to Evan not just as a rescuer, but as the first adult who ever chose him without condition. They go to the hospital for Evan's leg. The truth about his disability comes out. Orion faces his own childhood trauma reflected in the boy, and a bond forms stronger than blood. Orion becomes his guardian, protector, healer, and the man who teaches Evan that worth is not something you earn. It's something you already have. If this story touched your heart, if you believe no child deserves to be abandoned, if you love Orion Blackthorne and Ozzy Osbourne's spirit behind him, share this video right now. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Prove your love. Comment your name below to appear in future stories. And don't forget, subscribe to Voices of Darkness, where every story reveals the humanity hidden inside the shadows.